There are an estimated 100,000 dropshipping stores out there floating around the internet. It's more than evident that dropshipping is a popular business model for e-commerce, mainly because of the fact that this model allows you to sell products without actually holding any inventory and with little to no startup cost, as well as the flexibility to run this business from literally anywhere with a Wi-Fi connection. Hundreds of stores are being created every single day. But with that being said, many of them being created are by people that haven't done the research and simply got sold on the results, the fancy cars, and flexing by all the quote-unquote success stories. But don't get me wrong, dropshipping is great. After all, it's changed my life and has allowed me to live a literally insane lifestyle. I'm in a new country every week, and it's crazy to think that a college student like me could have achieved something like this. But I'm not a genius. I just had a serious determination and willingness to succeed under pretty much any circumstance. And I'm unbelievably grateful for it, but there is a list of caveats that aren't spoken about, which lead to a whole list of headaches for newcomers entering the space. So I'm going to give you guys a better understanding of the challenges you might face as an incoming dropshipper and the best ways to overcome them. Do you ever hear about people complaining about PayPal holds, Stripe accounts, Shopify payments being disabled? Well, I'm sure you have, because one of the biggest challenges that dropshippers face is with payment providers, yet I don't hear too many people honestly talking about why this happens or what you can do to avoid it. But payment providers are critical for the success of any e-commerce business. No payment providers means no money. What they do is facilitate transactions between merchants and customers and help ensure that the money flows smoothly from the website to your bank account. But because dropshipping often involves selling products from overseas suppliers, payment providers tend to see it as a high-risk business model. So for this reason, payment providers will end up either declining transactions or in some cases suspending or closing your account entirely. And unfortunately, I had to learn that the hard way. For example, payment provider giants like PayPal and Stripe have super strict policies against dropshipping for obvious reasons. So they may limit the options of dropshippers. And overall, this makes it a major challenge for dropshippers since it essentially limits the options and just makes it harder for store owners to process payments. But this actually trickles into the next challenge or issue that I wanted to talk about, which is account bans. And as you guys probably already know, dropshipping businesses operate differently than traditional e-commerce businesses, and some payment providers and social media platforms may view their practices as suspicious, which can lead to account bans. Now, just recently, within the past, say, couple of years, Facebook introduced something called the Facebook Feedback Score. And Facebook's Feedback Score is a way for Facebook to measure the reputation of a business based on their interactions it has with its customers. And they use a 1 to 5 star rating system, with 5 stars being the highest possible score and 1 star being the lowest. The score is determined by the ratings and reviews that customers leave for a business on its Facebook page. So what ends up happening after every purchase, a few weeks later, your customer will receive a survey of how their experience was with purchasing from your store. Now, for dropshippers, maintaining a high feedback score is tough due to the nature of this business model. And since dropshipping relies on sourcing products from other suppliers, which can result in quality control issues and customer complaints, in turn can lead to negative reviews and lower feedback scores. And once your score gets below a 2, the cost to advertise increases, so that means less money in your pocket per sale. And if it gets below a 1, well, in that case, you can never advertise on that page again. It's always going to be in your best interest to take proactive steps to maintaining a high score and a good relationship with payment providers. So what can you do to prevent payment providers from screwing you over? Is cancel any high-risk orders that you do see on your Shopify dashboard, because likely that person that made that order will end up filing a chargeback, and the more chargebacks you get, the higher chance of getting banned and having a bad seller reputation. Also, if you're planning to scale your business, ensure that your logistics are set in place properly. So making sure the shipping times are as fast as you can possibly get them to be, with maybe working with a 3PL or a local warehouse, and that there are quality checks with the product you're selling. And ideally, if you can, try to work with a supplier or manufacturer to ensure the products that are being shipped are of good quality. The last thing you can do for the feedback score is change the survey sent duration to the longest possible date, which is 8 weeks instead of what it defaults at. And after 8 weeks, your customer will probably forget about being mad about your order, whereas during the 2-3 week period, your customer is going to be really mad and take it out on you, and in that case, write a bad review. Now we'll move on to the next issue that may arise. When you're running a dropshipping business, customer support can definitely be tough to manage. Since the products you sell come from suppliers all around the world, generally China, it can be hard to make sure that everything's going smoothly and your customers are happy. Now remember, you're not the source, but you're purchasing from the source, and the source is sending to your customers, which in some cases can result in issues like delayed deliveries, wrong orders, and unhappy customers. Imagine this: a customer reaches out to you with a question or complaint about a product. What happens is that there's an extra layer of friction because you have to ask the supplier, who is on a different time zone because they're in China, and then you have to wait for their response and then relay that info via email to your customer. And if customers get mad that you're taking too long, this can lead to low customer satisfaction. So what can you do to make sure customer service is on point? One solution is to choose suppliers that have a solid track record for providing good products and customer support. You can even check for store reviews on AliExpress under their dedicated shop tab. And you want to eventually build up a really good connection with the supplier so you guys can work towards a long-term partnership. That's ideally the goal. I'd also suggest hiring out a virtual assistant to manage your customer support and have access to your Shopify order dashboard. You can find super solid VAs on websites like Fiverr and Upwork. Just make sure to hire outside of the US so you're not spending a fortune on customer service. And here is a little bit of sauce for all you guys that are still watching the video. What's helped me maintain a customer base and encourage customers to come back is really working towards building a community on your social media pages. So the next time you post a story or even in your bio of your IG, you can tell happy customers to tag you and post a story of your product for a chance to win a surprise gift. Then repost that story and then save it to highlights. So what this is doing is building social proof to your brand and encouraging community building. And once you start to progress to the next phase of branding, you're gonna wanna consider making thank you cards for each order, adding a little discount code for their next purchase. It's honestly a win-win because you get that person to spend more money on your store at no cost, or maybe the cost of the card, which is less than $1, and they get a discount if they've enjoyed the product and the experience. So as you guys hopefully have a better idea now, dropshipping is an amazing way to eventually build up a legitimate business, but it's important to be aware of the potential challenges that could easily go south. So you need to ensure you've understood the mitigation strategies to prevent issues like the following from arising. I know this was a quick video, but I wanted to keep it short, concise, and packed with a ton of value. I do appreciate you guys for watching the video. Much more to come. If you guys need to cover anything in specific, feel free to comment that below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.